Everyone, welcome back to another episode of this story. Jesus and Taehyung. After Emma left, I went upstairs and knocked on Taehyung's door. Taehyung surprised, Nona, are you okay? I walked in and sat beside him on the bed. Jisoo was shaking. Taehyung, I know. It was you who helped Emma came here while Jungkook wasn't around. Thank you. He looked at me with soft eyes, concerned. Taehyung gently, I just thought maybe she needed to speak her heart. I hope I didn't overstep. I smiled weakly and felt my tears fell down. Again, Jisoo tearfully, you did the right thing. I understand my mother better now. I judged her without listening. She was suffering and I didn't see it. Back into soft sobs. They moved closer and hugged me tightly with warmth, made me feel safe. Then whispering, it's okay now, Jisoo, you are a good daughter, you are just human. His comfort felt like a little light in the darkness. I calmed down, slowly wiped my tears, then smiling teachingly, as perfect as you are, your crying is really messy. I burst into laughter, wiping the last tear. Jisoo grinning, you are amazing, Taehyung. You have done so much for me. Now I think it's my turn to help you, Taehyung, blinking with what I smiled. Jisoo, with something I promised, finding the right man, or maybe reminding a certain Jungkook that he already has the right one. He blushed so hard his hair turned red. Then, panicking, Nona, I laughed, hugging him tightly. Again, Jesus smiling, let's both start healing together. Jungkook's baby returned to home late on purpose. The house was dark and quiet. Just as I wanted, I slipped into my room, quietly changed into my night clothes and on my bed, ready to sleep. Suddenly, I heard the door crack, approach. A shadow entered my room. This person was dressed in dark clothes, so I couldn't tell if it was a man or woman. I stayed still, pretending to be asleep. The figure moved closer, stopping near my head, then turned to leave. I opened my eyes slightly and said in deep, calm voice, Jungkook, whoever you are, stop right there. Jisoo sighing, come on, Jungkook, it's me. I should have known. I turned on the beside lamp and sat down. Jisoo came to my room and this late, it must be serious. Wow, this room is so dark. Did you buy everything in only black and grey? It's about Emma. I know you don't want to hear this, but I think it's time to forgive her. Today she came to visit me and we had a deep conversation. Then Jisoo told me everything, how Emma confessed, how she cried, how guilty she felt. Jisoo believed she was trying to change, but she didn't know the full story. I would never told anyone, but maybe now was the time. My therapist always said you need to speak the pain to heal from it. Jungkook calmly, Jisoo, it's not just about her lifestyle. I found out she had a relationship with one of our Appa's friend. It was just wrong. It was betrayal. I kept it to myself for these years, but maybe thinking, well, talking with help, the word felt heavy in my mouth. Jesus sobbed softly. I didn't know, Jungkook. I'm sorry, Jungkook. I'm trying to forgive her, really, but it's not easy. Jesus is really making efforts now. Let's give her a chance. Tomorrow is Sunday. Let's have dinner at home, just like we used to. I said, Jungkook, I will think about forgiving her, but dinner feels too soon. Jesus with puppy eyes, then will be coming to a place. I shook my head slowly, smiling a little. Jungkook, alright, if you insist, but now please leave so I can sleep. She left with a grin. The next day, I left early for work and returned early too. We were running late for the dinner. I quickly took a shower, threw a navy blue polo shirt and jeans, and headed downstairs. opened the door, motioning for them to follow. We dropped quickly to our family house. Dinner was surprisingly peaceful. There was laughter, smile, and reminded of the days before everything fell apart. I was glad I came. After dinner, I asked Jisoo to get ready so we can leave, but she smiled and she said she wanted to stay longer to talk with him, which meant I wouldn't be taking him home alone. We got home late due to traffic. I opened the door and asked if we need anything. I said no and thanked her. Now the house was quiet, only me and them. Good night, Jungkook. We was about to walk away, but I stopped and them. Wait. He turned around, looked confused. Jungkook, I knew. No, I have said this too many times lately, but I'm truly obliged. I haven't treated you right. I promise I will behave better. I walked closer, my voice gentle, but deep down I was lying a little, not because I wanted to hurt him, but because the truth was I didn't regret kissing him. I regretted not going further, not being honest about how I felt. Young sharply, it's fine. His tone was cold. He was still upset. Jungkook, I apologized. Couldn't you forgive me? Taekook sighing. Jungkook, can't you see? I don't want your apology. There was a pain in his eyes, like he wanted to understand something bigger. Jungkook, then what do you want from me? Quietly, nothing. He looked down, but I could hear the lie in his voice. Jungkook, stay but closer, no more hiding. Tell me what you really want. He lifted his face slowly, eyes sparkling, not with anger, but something deeper than boldly. You, I want you, Jungkook. Now, what will you do about that? I stood frozen. I never thought he would say it out loud. My heart pounded, my hands itched to hold him. But my mind warned me if I let this happen now, I might ruin everything. He deserves someone who can love him without fear, who can give him peace, not confusion. So I swelled hard and said the only thing that could protect him, Jungkook softly. Then quietly, I see he turned away and walked to his room without another word. I stood alone in the hallway, heart full of regret, but I knew if I truly cared for him, I had to hold back, even if it broke me inside. Thanks, POV, nothing, Jungkook said, just one word, but it felt like whole chest was being crushed. Why did I even say it? Why did I tell him I wanted him? Maybe I had lost control for a moment. Maybe I had waited too long to say it, and now that I finally did, he rejected me again. I turned to walk away, but before I could take another step, Jungkook grabbed my hand. I looked up. His eyes were filled with something I couldn't quite understand. Was it frustration, pain? Then, without saying a word, he pulled me close and kissed me. Gentle, it was passionate, emotional, like he had been looking back for too long, and I kissed him back. I let go of everything I had been hiding. Breathed softly between us, and he didn't flinch. He only pulled me closer. I sat against his lips, heart racing like a storm. His hands moved to my back, holding me securely like I might vanish. I placed my hand on his chest, feeling the warmth of his body, the steady beat of his heart. It was all real. He was real. Then Jungkook pulled back just slightly and rested his forehead against mine. He was breathing heavily, and so was I. Jungkook whispering things we should stop. I didn't answer. My heart was thudding with too loud. My mind was still wrapping after glow of the face. Jungkook softly, please, if you don't stop me now, I might be able to stop myself. His screen was on. Deeper, this time slow, like asking a question and already knowing the answer. He responded immediately. His lips were warm and nutty, and when he pulled me close again, my heart finally stopped touching. He lifted me gently and carried me to the dining table. We didn't stop kissing. The whole world disappeared. Everything else faded. It was just us, just me and Jungkook. For the first time, I felt like belonged. Jungkook's baby, I don't know what come over at the moment they kissed me again. I knew there was no going back. I had to try to be careful. I had tried to keep distance, but then he was like a magnet. My heart had always been pulled to him. I couldn't stop, so I didn't. I slowed. And that goes beyond saying I like you. It was gentle, emotional, real. We didn't fuss, we just held each other, kissed each other like we had been waiting for whole lives to do so. Later, Tang sat quietly on the table, his cheeks flushed, his hair messy from his fingers, and his lips were from our kisses. We looked like a dream, but I could also see that he was suddenly shy. His gaze avoided mine. Jungkook softly, a beautiful thing. He smiled just a little, his hands smoothing over his shirt. His baby bump made him even more radiant, and I couldn't stop staring. He looked back at me and said in a quick voice, "Does it hurt, you know?" Uncle, so you were a loud one, huh? Taekook gasped and covered his face. Taekook embarrassed. Yeah, Jungkook, don't say it like that. I laughed and gave his forehead a kiss. Then suddenly Taekook's smile faded. His gaze dropped to the floor and he whispered, Taekook, I can't believe we just did this in my sister's house. The guilt in his voice burst through me. I grabbed his face gently and made him look at me. Jungkook softly, Taekook, if you regret it, I will never do anything like this again. His eyes widened. Taekook, no, I don't regret it. It feels strange, like we crushed something we can't go back. I nodded slowly. Jungkook, that's true, we can't go back, but maybe we don't need to. He stared at me for a moment longer before leaning forward and resting his head on my shoulder. I wrapped my arms around him gently. Jungkook softly, are you mad at me? Of course, the words out there. No, I just want to go. Jungkook, are you tired? Yes, I lied. I wasn't tired, I was just emotionally drained. Without saying another word, Jungkook lifted me gently and carried me to my room. He laid me down, pulled the blanket over me, and stood there for a moment. I closed my eyes, pretended to sleep. I couldn't face him again. Jungkook quietly good night there. He left the room, closed the door behind him. Listen, as I was alone, memories of what had happened rushed back. The kisses, the feeling, the way his hands made me feel safe and wanted, and the guilt for my sister, for everything. Thinking to himself, what have you done? I turned away from the door, hiding under the blanket. Maybe things would
would magically fix themselves in the morning. Jungkook's behavior closed the door to Taeyoung's room and went straight downstairs. Possible I poured myself a drink, not something strong, just something to clear my mind. I leaned against the kitchen counter, replaying everything that had happened. Taeyong, his name along, made my heart ache. The way he looked at me before leaving, I could still feel his lips on mine. I should feel guilty. I did most, but mostly I felt loving. I wanted him not just for the night, but always. I loved. When I woke up, I was filled with strength, determination. Something had to change. We couldn't go back on avoiding each other. I stopped in front of the store before leaving for work, listening quietly. It was silent. He must still be resting. Joy told me later that Taeyong had said he was feeling unwell, but I knew it wasn't physical. The rest of the week passed in the same way. I left early, come back late, and Taeyong stayed in his room. It was like some strangers again, so I made a decision. Settled with the plan. I postponed my business trip to the sun just for the weekend. I asked Joy. Early than usual, went straight to kitchen. Joy had taught me how to prepare things for red morning tea. I just determined to do it right. When I was ready, I get things from inside. Joy, Juma, you can come in. I smiled to myself and stepped inside. When Taeyong saw it was me, his eyes widened slightly in surprise. He sat up straight in bed. I walked over, handed him the tea. Jungkook cheerfully, good morning, sunshine. Taeyong quietly, morning, Jungkook. He wasn't smiling, not yet, but I would fix that way. He took a small sip from the cup and looked at me with a raised brow. Taeyong, you knew I wasn't really sick, did you? Jungkook, grinning. I had my suspicions firmly. I wasn't pretending. I nodded, choosing not to argue. Jungkook, I'm glad you're okay. He didn't reply. He just kept sipping his tea. After a moment, I said, Jungkook, now that you are up, get dressed. We are going out. Taeyong, from where? Jungkook, somewhere special, somewhere casual. We do. I dressed in brown shorts, a white t-shirt, and green shirt, comfortable and clean. I waited exactly 20 minutes before returning to his room, and there he was. Taeyong had worn a knee-length fitted blue dress shirt with the soft cream pants and a white cardigan over two shoulders. He looked breathtaking. I had to take a moment to control myself. Jungkook, softly, you look stunning. He smiled. It was the first time I had seen him for many days, and just like that, the sun returned to my world. Taeyong, where are we going? Jungkook, grinning. Someplace you will love. I offered him my hand, and he took it. Taeyong's POV. Although through the weekend I avoided Jungkook, and honestly I was proud that I managed it. I had hoped that Jisoo would come home by Monday, but she called and said she would just stay by Emma a little longer. I didn't ask why. Maybe part of me was glad because I wasn't ready to face Jungkook yet, but today he catch me by surprise. He came to my room in the morning, told me to get ready. He said we were going out. I had no idea where we were going, but I said okay, maybe I was tired of waiting. could I fall for my late sister's husband? Suddenly I stopped smiling. My heart felt heavy, my thoughts were loud. Are you okay, Taekook? Want to go home? No, let's stay a little longer. I needed time to process, time to accept what I had just realized. By evening we packed up and drove home. On the way we stopped by a restaurant and got back home. Jai wasn't there. Maybe she had the weekend off. I didn't ask. My thoughts were too crowded. We ate quietly and Jungkook cleared the table. I stood and returned to my room without saying much. After a shower, I changed into my nightmare. Wears a soft, oversized shirt and shorts. I lied in the bed, scrolling through my phone, trying not to think much. That's when I heard the gentle knock. Yes, come in. I opened the door. It was Jungkook. Walked in, closed the door quietly, and sat beside me on the bed. His hands rested on my knees, and his voice was smaller than usual. Jungkook, we need to talk, please. Then now I asked once if I was ready. Jungkook, yes, please. I sat up. The way he spoke, it wasn't forceful, it was gentle, respectful. Jungkook, I know you probably expect me to realize, but I can't because I am dying. If I say I regretted what happened, he paused. I stared at him speechless. Jungkook, I am going to be honest now. I want you to know I have tried to fight it. I told myself it was wrong, but the truth, I want you more than I can say. Looked down into his eyes. He wasn't hiding. He wasn't acting like the cold, distant Jungkook I first knew. He was raw, open, honest. I whispered his name. Jungkook, if you have changed your mind, if you don't want me anymore, please tell me. I wouldn't bother you again. Just say something. His voice was rushing, almost nervous. That's when I leaned in and kissed him. I poured everything into that kiss, every unspoken word, every feeling I had bottled up. He kissed me back, gentle, slowly, like we had all the time in the world. When we pulled apart, he rested his forehead on mine. Lie down with me, he ordered, silently sleeping under the cover. We lied together, not saying a word. My heart rested on his chest, and I listened to the soft beat of his heart. It felt safe, like home. I sat and slept closer, letting my round belly rested around against him. Then something happened, a soft flutter from inside. I gasped, and so did Jungkook. Jungkook did the baby. I placed my palm over his stomach and felt it again. Then I grabbed Jungkook's hand and placed it there. He felt it. His eyes filled with emotion, both happiness and pain. Then softly, it's okay, Jungkook. Didn't say anything, just brushed his face. We stayed like that for a while. When he finally pulled away, his eyes were red. Jungkook was shaking. That was Hannah's dream. She wanted this so badly, but she is not here to see them. I missed her too. He started to stand. Jungkook, I need some time alone. I stopped him, holding his hand. No, Jungkook, don't leave. You don't have to go through this alone. Stay with me. He looked inside. I gently pulled him back into bed under the covers and wrapped his arms around him. He didn't resist. I rubbed his back slowly. I can be here and I will be every day. So everyone, how was it? I will see you again in the next episode. Till then, take care, bye bye, love you, bye.